You're getting clients, but your income still feels inconsistent. One month it's decent. The next month feels like you're starting all over again. So most people assume the problem is visibility. They post more, they chase more reach, they try to show up everywhere. But the real issue isn't visibility. It's one of three patterns happening behind the scenes. These are patterns I've identified across every type of service based business I've worked with and within my own services as well. Coaching, consulting done for you doesn't matter the model. I see these patterns. And once you see which one applies to you, you'll know exactly what's bleeding your revenue and what to fix first. Let's simplify this. The first pattern shows up when your visibility is scattered across too many places. And it actually looks like a smart strategy, which is why most people miss it. The second happens when people are genuinely interested, but the path forward isn't clear enough for them to sign up. And the third one is the one almost nobody talks about, when over-serving quietly starts draining the energy you need to stay visible at all. Pattern one is where we're starting because it's the one that surprises people the most. Pattern one, scattered visibility. What this usually looks like is that you're not invisible. You're just stretched really thin, burning the candle at both ends. You might be posting on Instagram, maybe LinkedIn, maybe Facebook, maybe you started a podcast or YouTube. And half the time you're copying and pasting the same post everywhere just to get it done and check it off your list. Not because it's working, but because you feel like you're supposed to be everywhere. The problem with that approach is that when your visibility is split across too many places, you never actually learn how any one space works for your business. So you stay in guessing mode, and guessing mode often leads to inconsistent income. Instead of expanding everywhere, start refining. So here's what I recommend you do. It's not easy. Pick one platform for the next 30 days. Ideally, the one you enjoy the most and the one that's already giving you signals. Then decide one clear next step you want people to take. Maybe it's commenting. Maybe it's sending you a message. Maybe it's just going and visiting your landing page. But make the next step clear, because clarity is what actually moves someone forward and builds trust. I had a client whose preferred way of selling was cold canvassing. He was cold canvassing everywhere, every networking event all year long. But when we looked at the current efforts in his business, there was one specific event and even a specific moment before that event where his ideal clients were actually ready to buy. Once he focused on being available at the right place and time, instead of chasing, his effort dropped and his close rate improved. Consistency doesn't come from being everywhere. It comes from knowing where and when your people move. Then we have pattern two. Interest exists, but the path isn't clear. The second pattern shows up when people are actually interested in what you do. You might have conversations happening. People are commenting. You're answering questions. You might even be booking a few calls every day. But your months swing. One month feels great. The next month feels quiet again. What's usually happening here is that visibility is bringing people in, but the path forward isn't clear. So people stall, and stalled leads rarely convert. One place to look is this. So think about the last few clients who actually bought from you. What step did they take right before they became a client? Did they fill out a form, book a call, send you a message? Maybe they visited a specific page. Once you understand that step, you can start making that path clearer and easier for your future clients to follow. I worked with a client who used to do everything through calls, but he could often tell before the call even started whether someone was ready to buy. So we took the patterns he was already noticing and built a simple landing page that filtered people based on readiness. He got to reduce the amount of calls that he was taking because he didn't need more leads. He needed more flow. Visibility brings people in, structure keeps them moving. On to pattern 3, causing many online service providers to feel like it is impossible to reach 5-figure months and beyond. Pattern 3, overserving is quietly draining your consistency. Now, this is the third pattern that a lot of service providers miss simply because they are being of service and want the best for their current and future clientele. It's when overserving your clients slowly starts draining the energy you need to stay visible. What this can look like is answering a lot of questions in the DMs or the comments, jumping on extra calls, adding just one more thing to a service because you genuinely want to help. But none of those things are bad. It's what happens over time. They can quietly pull your time and attention away from the visibility that keeps your business moving. And when marketing slows down, income dips a few months later. One helpful place to look is simply asking yourself, where might my energy be leaking right now? Are you clear what your service includes and what it doesn't? Because consistency becomes much easier when your delivery is structured and sustainable. Delivery meaning how you provide your services. Now, I've had to tighten my own way of providing my services over time because you learn more and more about your clients and more about yourself as a business owner. And this isn't because I didn't care. It's because over giving made everything heavier for me and oddly, my clients too. Once the offer became clearer and more structured, my clients had a better experience and staying visible became easier too. You can't be a lighthouse if you're constantly rowing the boat. Now, most service providers don't actually need more content, more reach, more everything. They need refinement. You're likely closer than you think, but clarity requires focus. Most people don't need to chase harder. They just need to stand clearer. And here's what most people don't realize. Even if your visibility improves, how you provide your services can quietly pull you back into tugboat mode. It's about creating balance between staying visible and serving clients well. If you'd rather refine this faster with someone who's already helped hundreds of service providers stabilize their revenue, you'll find details about working together down in the description below, or check out this next video.